Hello, and good evening, and welcome to Beacon of Hope, our Friday special program. Welcome. This is your host, Councillor Elizabeth Kangede, Mrs. Bishop BK. Once again, inviting you and welcome you to come and join us for our weekly program of Beacon of Hope, where I always say, Beacon of Hope, we inspire, we motivate, yes, and we teach. Our intention is to change people's ways of life, people's perspective, and even to encourage and to get inspired by people who have done things, some of them extraordinary things. Yes, and we have had it all here. I mainly like dwelling with the youth who are our future. And I like telling the youth, you are not our future leaders, you are the leaders of today. Yes, my passion is to make sure that we are handing the baton to people who are well prepared, to young men and young women who are well prepared in terms of leadership, in terms of pastors, in terms of ministries, in terms of government, in terms of whatever it is, in terms of even families. We want to bring people who are well prepared. And that is the main idea behind Beacon of Hope, so that we can mentor, so that we can guide, so that we can inspire, so that we can motivate and even teach where possible. And you all know, with the social media today, distance is not a barrier. We reach out to people who are all over the world. I'm really excited tonight to see even my first person to get online is none other than my pastor, Reverend Titus, all the way in Kenya. That is what I mean, that Beacon of Hope reaches far and wide, reaches to and unreachable. Yes, it goes far. And once again, Beacon of Hope, the idea behind Beacon of Hope, we inspire, we motivate, we teach, we aim to change people's perspective to the way we look at things. So far, later on, I'll be looking at what we have covered so far. We analyze and we see where we have gone wrong, where we could have improved, and what we have achieved. Because we need to have a look at that. We need to ask ourselves, where are we coming from? I tell you what, my friend, if you're here listening to me tonight, you have every reason to thank God. How many people died during COVID? How many people are not here today? Yet you are here because God sustained you for such a time as this to be here. Yes. So if you're here and you can hear me, know that God loves you so much. He loves you. God loves you. God loves you. So once again, with Beacon of Hope, we started this program with the idea of reaching out, because it started during the COVID period when everybody was locked down and no one was going out. And I thought, Bishop encouraged me and he said, you know what, we need to look for something that we can be doing other than just going to church. And most of you know me as a leader, as a teacher. I love places where I can talk. Yes, this is the best gift that God has given unto me. And I thought, I need to reach out. And my best target has been the youth. And you find that our youth need a lot of mentorship. Our youth need a lot of leading. Our youth need people who can hold their hands. And I thought, if I can change just one life, I can see most of the people tuning in are from Kenya. Edith Mishere. Good to see you, my dear. Good to see you. Good to see you. Share. Invite people. Invite, because tonight we are once again talking about the youth. And I've got experts, people who deal with challenging youth, people who know how to go about it. And listen, it's not just in diaspora, it's all over, because children will always be children. You know, some of you think, oh, you are in diaspora, so the way yes, but we really need to know how to handle challenging behavior. We need to know, where do we go wrong? We need to know what can be done. And just before we go there, I like encouraging my diasporians. I like reminding you, are you sending money home? This is a time when we want to support our families back home. And we also have people who want to send money for various reasons, maybe to support with health, hospital bills, and more so now, Christmas is here. Are you sending money? Are you planning to support somebody? Are you planning to send that Kambuzi? If you're planning to do that, don't go any further. We've got the easiest and the best way to send money with the highest rate of exchange, either from here, from most parts of the States, from Germany, from Canada. All this TapTap has gone all the way. I'm using TapTap to support my family, to send money to friends, all those people who need friend, who need support. And if you're in US, if you're in Europe, any part of Europe, if you're in Canada, this is the easiest way.
Niajiwase. TapTap Send Money Transfer has launched its app in Kenya. Send money to M-Pesa and Kenyan bank accounts. Send money quickly at the best rate. Hassle-free. Available in the UK, France, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany. Tumakitu.
Yes, Tumakitu. People usually ask me, why are you advertising TapTap? Because I've used it and I would like people to get the best exchange rate. I would like people to be happy with the services that they provided. And I've been using them, yes. And if I have anything good as my family, as my friends, as fellow Kenyans, why not share it? Why not, let people know? So TapTap, they have the highest rate of exchange. Then again tonight, are you looking to buy a property in Kenya? Are you looking to buy any piece of land? Are you thinking of, Timmy, my sister, when I go back home, I would like that bungalow. I would like to have that apartment. I would like to have a small shamba where I can have my own stuff and put up my property. Don't look any further. And we'll be talking about this later on. We've got Almond Estate Company Limited. Almond Estate Company Limited, they are the real deal. They are really doing so well. They've got so much that they're offering in terms of land, in terms of properties, and they've got very, very, very good deals. So later on, I'll be having a special appearance of this guest, or maybe before we start, this special guest who's talking about Almond Estate Company Limited, whereby there's a lot that he's going to talk to us. There's a lot that, people are benefiting. Guys, let's not be left out. Let's not be left out. Guess what? Let me tell you something. Almond Estate Company Limited was in US, and I've really tried to find out what is happening. Guys in US have gotten together so much, and they're buying so much. They've got their own properties. They've invested. They have invested back home, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you have your own small 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, or 3 bedroom, you can even rent it out. When you go home, you don't have to go to the hotels. Yes, it's there. If you have your own piece of land, you can even have people working on it, tilling it for you. And then when you are ready to go, you are there, you are all set. I've been discussing with so many people, and you know what? Our eyes now are set. We are looking at what we're going to do when we retire. Most of us are thinking in those terms of retirement benefits. There are those of us who don't look at this place as our future. But our children, yes, our children are here. But it's also very, very good to teach them investments. You need to teach our children to invest. And I know, personally, I love home very, very much. People know. Taenda kuwa mkulima. Yes, nataka kulima. Why not? It's good. It's good. Plus even the weather, everything about our place. Let's be honest. It's good. It's really good. And if you're looking into doing that, don't look any further. We've got Almond Estate Company Limited who are really helping us to invest. And they are, we've used them. I can see St. James saying, yes, retirement investment. Yes, I'm thinking of that. James is saying, tuned, looking good, mom. Hey, I'm glad. James Joroge, I can see you are there. Reboni, I can see you are there. My sister Catherine, I can see you are there. Tuned. Timmy, yes, I know. We need to catch up. Michelle, you are there. Reverend Titus, all the way in Kenya, you are there. You know what, guys? You need to share now. You need to share before I bring in my guests. Yes, investments. Yes, we need to invest in Almond Estate Company Limited. before I bring in my guests, you need to share. I haven't seen enough shares before I bring my guests so that they can know we are here. Yes, my guests, I would like my guests to come in when we are all set, when we have more of you. Yes, we don't want my guests to come and they only find 5 or 6 of you. So we should be discussing and saying, what has COVID taught you? Is there any lessons you've learned after COVID-19? Is there anything you have learned? Any lessons? Put them down there on the chat I see. Have you learned anything post-COVID? Have you learned anything at all? Have you learned to love people more? Yes. Have you learned to teach, to love your family? Know that family is you need your family. Tell me, I want to see people there. Tell me what you've learned through COVID. What has COVID taught you? Mine, COVID has taught me I need, to be there for others, because time is coming when I also need them. I've learned that life is too short. You could be here today, tomorrow you are gone. Yes, I've learned also to use social media. Yes, we've learned to use social media, which is very, very important. Come on, continue sharing and telling me what you've learned from COVID. Well, I'm still waiting to bring in my guests. I can see my guest is there. He's waiting. He's telling me he doesn't see enough people there. Yes, there are enough people. You can come and talk to the ones who are here. Michelle, you are telling me you've already shared. And Michelle, you are asking me, from which age should we teach our children on how to invest? That question is very good. We will ask Mr. Wachira. He'll be here in a bit. He'll be here in a bit. I didn't realize I was muted. Oh God, I was muted. We need to get Mr. Wachira to come in and answer that question, because I do. Oh, James, yes, shared twice. Michelle shared already. That's good. Yes. I think with investments, if James could give us an answer, James Joroge, he's there. He's there. He could tell us. Could you please, darling, tell Ahmad we are waiting for him now? Write a message for him on WhatsApp. Tell him. Thank you. Thank you very much. James, because James Joroge, you've been doing a lot on investments. At what age should we start teaching our children to invest? You've been doing all this. It's not any different. You've been teaching them how to invest even in crypto. At what age should we start? James says 16. Michelle, 16. But that is only for that is because you're using internet, and obviously, I think that's the reason why. James Joroge, I think that's the reason why at 16. But even at an earlier age, you should. I know here in schools, when I've been teaching primary school, they've been inviting bankers to come and talk to them. You ask young kids of 10, 12, the difference between a savings account, all these, they will know. They will know. I think it's important to kind of slowly introduce that. I think we had been taught investments when we were very, very young. Why did our parents ask us to have our own small kitchen garden, or to have our sunguras and we would sell them? So I think, James Kariuki Daktari says, COVID made this scripture alive. Proverbs 23:5. In the blink of an eye, wealth disappears, for it will sprout wings and fly away like an eagle. So COVID has taught me to prioritize those things that crosses over to eternity. Wow, amen, amen. That is very, very spiritual. That is a word for Dr. James. COVID has taught him that. I think it is the same thing as pride. Anytime. Christmas, I'm in. You can start investing for your children as early as you can. I want to bring you in, Christmas, and I can only see the other guests. Please go online. I'm waiting for you. Go online. Okay. So, guys, he says you can start investing for your children as early as you can. Yeah, for your children, you investing for them. But the question is, at what age should you start teaching them investments? Christmas, if you could just join us We will really appreciate if you could join us. That would be very kind of you. We still can't see you. Right. So you can start investing for your children as early as you can. Yeah. So Michelle, the answer is there. As early as you can. You can start investing as early as you can. Christos, I don't see you. I can see my other guests. And I think if you are not there, I'm gonna proceed with the other guest and wait and bring you back. Oh, there we go. Oh, yes. Aha. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
It's good to see you. You see, questions are coming and you're not there, and I don't want to mislead my people.
I was actually there, but I didn't realize that I'm not actually live per se.
You want. So, guys,
Yeah.
quickly, because of time, and we have another guest here tonight. Once again, we have Mr. Crispus Wachira, who is the CEO of Almond Estate Company Limited, the director of CEO Almond Estate Company Limited. And I just spoke about you. I said, and people know if they want to invest. Yes, and even somebody saying using Karimo is saving and investing the same. You got questions. Is saving and investing the same? Crispus, I'll hand over to you quickly. We go through some of these questions and then talk about your day and what you do. I'll hand over to you. Over to you, and good evening and welcome.
Thank you very much, Madam Elizabeth. Thank you. Good evening, viewers. My name is Crispus Wachira, the chief servant at Almond Estate Company Limited, where we talk land, we breathe land, matters real estate. And I'm glad this evening, even for our sister Elizabeth, for hosting me in this program, Beacon of Hope Beacon, that we may tell our people that there is hope. Importantly, that we believe in God, and God is looking at us to really demonstrate that we're living the purpose for which He called us, and it is important. Therefore, even as we participate in such a program, Beacon of Hope, we should. I was trying to meditate and see what it really means, and it's quite a lot. And we thank God. Amen. So back to what we do as a company, we deal with the land, we deal with houses, and I have had some questions from our listeners and viewers asking questions regarding when should my child start investing, probably on what should he invest in, is investing the same as savings, and so forth. And I know many other questions would be coming along. Now, answering from my understanding, I think it is important for viewers and our listeners to know that we have a background. I am an entrepreneur by profession. I'm a practicing entrepreneur. And when I say I am an entrepreneur by profession, it means that I have done entrepreneurship. I have studied that, and that is what I practice. I have taught entrepreneurship all the way to university level. And so when I hear questions like, when should my child start investing? I'm reminded of what I always tell students in class, that investing should begin as early as practically possible. I have seen organizations like who does risk management, insurance
Yes.
organizations.
Mhm.
They come telling us about what we need to do with our children, and when we should start doing what for our children. And the timings are as early as possible. I have seen programs that take care of our children from day one. When the child is born, and you are told that you should start investing for this child at day one. So I think, Elizabeth, if I am to answer the question, when should my child start investing?
Mhm.
I think the straight answer is as early as day one.
Wow.
I know there are other legal aspects that come along because this child is a minor,
Yes.
but a minor has a guardian, and a guardian
Huh?
is an important person. And
Yes.
as a parent, you should, who is looking at his children or his child from a futuristic position, then I believe strongly that if I start investing for my child day one, it
Mhm.
means that I am looking at this child all the way to the 120th year. The Bible has given us a lifespan that in the book of Genesis, where God said, I will not struggle with man anymore, he shall not go beyond 120.
Mhm.
So you have up to the 120th year, along which from day one, you can invest in your child, and you can start doing all these things for your children from day one. So become a guardian, a parent who is responsible, who Bishop will always preach here when he is allowed to come by Elizabeth, and then he would tell us, leave a legacy, an inheritance to your children's children. That will happen when indeed you are making sure that your child, you are investing for your children and in your children. Two things must happen. You invest for your children, and you also invest in your children. I don't want to go into details of that. Bishop will really explain thereafter.
That's Bishop's area.
Yeah. And the other bit is the difference between saving and investing. Let me say this. Yes, there is a clear difference between saving and investing. And I will take a very simple example so that I don't take much time.
Mhm.
I will only say this, that when you save, you just put aside the 10 shillings that you have not you have spared from your daily budget.
Mhm.
From an economic formula, income of an individual is equal to expense plus savings. What is income? Income is the summation of expenditure, what you spend, plus your savings. In other words, what you are not expending. If your income is per day is 100, then that 100 comprises what you shall eat, what you shall drink, what you shall wear, etc. Your budget plus what you have saved. That
Mhm.
sums to an income. Now, the element of saving is this, that the amount that you are not spending, and you
Mhm.
have put it aside, maybe into a certain account. You have probably put it somewhere else, maybe in a fixed account deposit. You are not, that is saving. You are making whatever remains after you are able to spend. You can put it in your bank account, you can put it in a circle or somewhere. That is saving. And investing is equal to preservation. you preserve. You preserve. Preserving means that you have taken the amount of money that you have probably not spent, and you have put it into a platform that is not easily accessible to yourself. You know, when you say you have saved 100 shillings into a savings account, you can still access that amount.
Yes.
But when you have taken the model of preserving, it means that you have moved that amount that you are not spending, and you have put it into a platform that secures it to remain for the longest of time. You know, when you are preserving, you are saying, I want it to be in the long term. That is investing. Investing means that you are securing your savings into a preservation mode, your preservation program, where you intend to get it in the long term. That is preserving. And now in Armored, we encourage our people in the Republic of Kenya and everywhere across borders, like what our sister Elizabeth said earlier on. I was in the US last month for nearly 5 weeks, and the discussion was in the 6 states that I visited. I was encouraging people to take a preservation model, and God has allowed us to have the soil that you are walking on.
Yes.
The soil which you call your land, which you call your plot, which you call your peace. That peace that, you know, inside this soil, Elizabeth, there are so many things that God has preserved in the soil.
Yes.
Now you can understand the difference between saving and preserving.
Yes.
God has preserved oil. Oil is in the ground. Gold is in the ground. Gold is not in the bank. Oil is not in the bank. God has hid them. He has hidden them into the soil, into the ground. And therefore, we are in a very we are in a very divine space where, as an organization, God has allowed us to help our people access and own a piece of land or pieces of land where God has preserved all your wealth. All your wealth. Direct your wealth, your savings, whatever is disposable income to you, put it in a preservation mode, put it into a preservation platform, and that can only be land. You know, when God was talking to Abraham, he told him about leave your people and go, and Bishop knows that story very well. He'll tell us one day, to a place I will show you.
Yes.
Then he told him about how he gave him a promise of a land where he was to give his descendants and his children. Again, we'll see God when he created heaven and earth, and he also had the decision to create man after his own image and likeness. He had prepared for man land, the Garden of Eden. So God prepared the land before you were made, before I was made, before he created us. He prepared for me and you a piece of land. So when, as Armored, we are talking about own a piece of your own land, we are connecting you to what God desired, purposed, even before you were made, even before you are created. He desired that you have a piece of land. He desired that you have a piece of an area that you would call yours, like he had the Garden of Eden, I want to believe here, Elizabeth, all of us across the world, we have our own, God has our own Garden of Eden. You have your own, God has made ready. So here as an organization in Armored, we are saying, we are here to show you your Garden of Eden. We are here to show you where God would love to bless you, and probably where you will put your family and leave an inheritance to your own children. And so as an organization, we are happy to be used of God to take people to their promises and to work with the people to get their own pieces of land and own their own pieces of land. That we are very, very happy to do. And, you know, when I'm talking about land, I'm remembering what we are having in Kiserian, in Gong sub-county. And we have very beautiful pieces of land. And people are very happy because the land is beautiful. We have called it Eda Gardens, which means a beautiful piece. A beautiful piece. Eda Gardens, and thank you for displaying it over there. It is a beautiful ornament in the sense that it is nestled and sandwiched between settled areas. So we are not talking about a place where there are you are strangely alone. We are talking about a place where people are in the light, people are in the left, people are in the north, and they are also in the south. All corners of the compass, you have people already settled. And therefore, we are having that beautiful piece where I would call on all our listeners and viewers to come, and Armored will help you settle and own your piece of Eden there. I know, Elizabeth, people have, all our listeners and our viewers and those who shall come and follow after this program thereafter online, we want to leave this message to them that our Armored Estate, which is in Nairobi, Kenya, has a divine mission to connect you to your Garden of Eden. At the moment, we have beautiful pieces of land in Kiserian, Gong sub-county, Kajiado County, only 51 kilometers from Nairobi CBD, from Kencom, all the way to Eda Gardens. It is only 51 kilometers, and you will be in your Garden of Eden. And we will facilitate you to own a piece of land there. We will help you own a piece of land there. We are giving a piece at only Kenya shillings 750,000. I am saying only because we set that price 1 year ago in December year 2020. Today we are in November year 2021. We have sold 50% of that piece of land. We have less than 120 pieces remaining. And what are we saying? That out of these 120 pieces, we are not changing the price. Ile bei we sold to the first person, it is the same price that we are selling to you. And mind you, I can confidently say in this program that we are giving you a value more than 900,000 at Kenya shillings 750. What does that mean? Your return on investment is already high. It is already, you start earning your return on investment day one when you engage with us and you own your piece of land. I am saying we help our people and facilitate our people in this manner because Elizabeth will continually tell you that Armored will help you by financing your plot. You give us 50,000 Kenya shillings and we will finance you 700 and then help you by telling you we'll pay that amount without any interest added on it. Just divide and for the longest period of time of 24 months, then you are able to eventually own your piece of land. That is how we are doing it and enabling our people, empowering our people. And we are not telling you that we shall take you to this bank, we shall take you to the other bank, we shall bring this banker. No, we are saying we are going to do the financing ourselves as an organization, and we shall carry out an appraisal of our customer as Armored in our offices. We shall ask you for simple documents, bank statement 6 months, or of M-Pesa statement 6 months. And for those of you who are in the diaspora, whether in the Middle East, in the UK, in the United States of America, in Europe, in Canada, bring your notarized bank statement. Just notarize from where you are, and we shall use them to appraise you and even extend our funding arrangement to you. And then you'll be an eventual proud owner of your Garden of Eden, of your peace in Ada Gardens. And Elizabeth, allow me to say this.
Yes, go on.
That Armored is also in housing. And I know our people in the diaspora have gone through fire. Like, I don't want to say what I heard Bishop say about a fiery furnace. But I know some of our people, our brothers, our sisters across the boundaries, they have been pressed through a fiery furnace by either their relatives, their friends, or other unscrupulous organizations. Oh, for Armored, how different are we? Well, how are we? And we are different in this manner. That as an organization, we are not on what is popularly known as off-plan model. You know, off-plan model, Elizabeth, is where I ask you to give me your money. Yes. Then I will be building you for you as you give me your deposit. And sometimes the deposits that the off-plan model requires are quite huge, huge amounts of money. They are quite a lot. For example, you may be purchasing a 2-bedroom unit costing 5 million. Then you are being required to first of all put in a deposit of maybe 2 million, so that we start and we onboard you. But for Armored, we are not on off plan. God has graced us with the funds to do the construction. So we do the construction, we have money to do the construction. But how do we want to do it? We do not want to just do houses and then put them into the market. We want to build houses that are owned by some people, by their owners. In fact, Elizabeth, what we do in Armored, our program of houses, we call it My House. My House. Why My House? My House, because we have started this house with you. We shall start the house, with the client. And how shall we start the house with the client? Because we identify as an organization the best place to do that project. And when we identify the best place to do a housing project, we do the designs. We present the designs to the county authorities for approval. And we do all the processes that are required. Then we call in the client and we tell them that we have a project ongoing, or that we will be starting in this place. For example, we did Kitusuru Heights Phase 1, which is in Mwemuto. Mwemuto, or where Kitusuru Phase 1 is located, is just 9 kilometers from Salit Center. For those of us who are remembering Westlands, Salit Center is in Westlands. So that thank you, Elizabeth, for showing it to us. That project is in a place called Mwemuto, and now we're not calling the places those old names. we're calling the project new names that are aligned with our new generation.
Oh yes.
So majina ile mzee akusema King'ero agakuthie
Tumeacha.
hiyo hatutaki hiyo majina. And
King'ero,
we want to,
Dumaine.
yeah, hatutaki hiyo. So Kitsuru Heights is 9 kilometers from Salit Center. And we did this project in 9 months. This project is, we finished, it is fully sold out. So we engage our customers by telling them, we have this project in this place. These are the designs. This is how it shall look at the very end. And the project, we have the money to do it, but we want you to onboard us as early as now. So, and that is Kitsuru Heights Phase 2. Elizabeth, I will be sending to you the new design for Kitsuru Heights Phase 2.
You said that.
We have redesigned it. The designs have been approved. We have now agreed on the designs. We got some technical issues on what we call geotechnical survey. So, and we had to redesign that one so that the soil structure agrees to carry that particular weight. We have redesigned that one.
Right.
I will send you the designs on Monday. Now, so the client onboards by a 10% deposit. So, for example, in Kitsuru Heights Phase 2, which has 60 units of 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom, a mix of 1 and 2 bedroom, where 1 bedroom is going for 3 million and 2 bedroom going for 4.6 million. A client puts a deposit of 10%. That 10%, then we do an agreement and we ask the client, now, how do you think you will be able to complete the 90%? And then the client tells, we ask the client, do you have the money? Because probably Elizabeth could be having the money somewhere. He may have sold a cow, he may have sold another piece of land, and he is doing what probably is called a value transfer.
Or my cuckoo or chicken or pigs.
Oh yes, you may be doing a value transfer. So we ask you, you have the money? If yes, we say, then let your advocate give us a professional undertaking that Elizabeth has the money. So and the Elizabeth's counsel or attorney will give us a professional undertaking. So we don't take your 90% to Kainaiyo, we don't take it. We are just given a letter of undertaking that at the completion of this house, it is me as an advocate of Elizabeth will ensure that the money is paid to your account.
Oh yes.
So you could also be having the money and you do not want to put it through the advocate. So we ask you, let us open an escrow account where you keep the money and you cannot thereafter withdraw. Both of us are signatories to the account, Armod and Elizabeth. When Armod and Elizabeth are signatories to the account, which is an escrow account, it means then that neither of us can withdraw without the express permission of the other. That is an escrow account. Let us put the money into an escrow account. Probably the third option that you will tell us is that I have a mortgage. I have a mortgager, KCB, Cooperative Bank, or any other bank of your choice is your mortgage provider. And so we ask you, let us know who is your mortgage provider, so that your mortgage provider can now liaise with our legal department and the legal team to give us comfort that we shall really give Elizabeth a mortgage. So 3 options are available: an escrow account, a mortgage arrangement, or a professional undertaking from your advocate. And then we tell you that when we are at 50% construction, when you have done the houses and we are 50% constructed, then we will require from you a further deposit of 20% deposited with our advocates account, where it is held at stakeholders on a stakeholders basis. So we want to remind ourselves that even if it is a mortgage, if, for example, your SACCO, it will not give you 100% financing. It will probably give you between 70 to 80%. So when we are 50% construction, we tell you now give us a further 20%. Now you can see we are halfway. So give us another 20%. And so it happens so that at the end, when we are giving you the keys, you only have 70% to give to us. We give you the keys, then you give us the balance, or you set the balance to our advocate of 70%. Then we give you the completion document, certificate of practical completion, plus all these other documents that are required, and we give them to you. Then you do the transfer to your title. All those documents will help you, plus our title document. Then you do the conveyancing. You transfer the house to yourself. You do the conveyancing, and the advocate will.
Now, Mr. Wachira, let me kind of stop you in the middle somewhere and ask. You've already sold Kitsuru Heights Phase 1 is sold out completely. I've got two questions because I also want us to handle a question by Dr. James there. Mine is, with the team that the people who bought Kitsuru Heights Phase 1, did you have any of them forfeiting or people unable to complete? And how did you deal with that if people have already given half of the money and maybe somewhere they are stuck and they can't clear because of unavoidable reasons? Anything could happen when you are, in the middle. Then James Daktari is asking, I have a question for Mr. Wachira. What is one thing that Almod is different from other investors who did very well in their first phases and people invested for the second phase only for the project to collapse? I'm sure he knows, I know the people share with me, and I know we don't want to name names, not on Beacon of Hope, but I know people, we have burnt our fingers and people have been in such a situation. So the two questions as we look at, I've got private chats also. Do you want to quickly handle that? Because I want us, we had another guest, although I want people to make sure that with investments, it's very tender. We really need to make sure that we understand where we are putting our money, and that is why I'm not embarrassed. I would like to bring you as many times as possible. And I also assured people that by the grace of God, I'll be visiting the Almod, the Ada Gardens myself and see it for myself before I invest there. I'll be going there. And we've already arranged. And you also talk about the tours arranged because people have already started traveling. The two questions, please, over to you, Mr. Wachira.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'll go straight to the question, and these are good questions. Number one, I start with the question that you asked. Do we have people who are unable to pay, and how did we handle them? Yes, in Kitsuru Heights Phase 1, we had a few people who were unable to pay, and it was legitimate. They had legitimate reasons. It was COVID season. And so you found that some people, because of this unprecedented occurrence that we had globally, their incomes were affected, their jobs were affected, their companies were affected. So a few opted out. And so what did we do about them? For those who had paid, we moved with them. We did a due process. What is the due process? We gave them 60 days. 60 days. 60 days to do what? To probably see whether they have another arrangement on how they can complete their transaction, and some were able to complete. So I appreciate and thank God for those who are able. Those who are not able to complete their transaction, Then we had to effect the sale agreement, referred what we were supposed to refer to them, and just effect the exit process. In the sale agreement, which is contractual and legal, has process taking care of the seller and taking care of the buyer. And so we just effected those clauses, and the houses were bought quickly. So we have none remaining. On the question of how Armored, and James, that was a very good question. What is it that Armored is doing different from other organizations, so that we have one first successful project and another second one failing? Remember, we are not on off plan. We are not on off plan. So when we say we are not on off plan, that distinguishes our business model, where it is our money first. Our money. It is our money we are putting first onto ground, not the investor's money, not the client's money. We are not talking about the client using the client's money to do work. We are saying we are using our money to do work. And so by the grace of God, that becomes a distinguishing factor, that we are not waiting. Saying that we are closing on the second project, no, will not arise, simply because it is us financing the project, not the client or the buyers financing the project. That is the difference.
Right. I would like you to talk about the 27th, so that I'll bring you back later then, because there is another guest waiting and I don't want. Talk about the 27th, and I can see someone. Oh, that's Bishop. Bishop is saying we are eagerly waiting. Talk about that, and then because you're still there, I'll bring you back and I'll allow people to ask questions, because I would like us to make sure that people are happy with the information that they get.
Thank you, Bishop and Elizabeth. On the 27th of November, year 2021, we have a bus tour. And this bus tour is taking our existing clients and our potential clients to our projects to see what we have done as an organization in our land business and in our housing business. And so we shall be having a bus tour to go and see what we did in Kitsuru Phase 1, to go and see what we are doing in Kitsuru Phase 2, and to go and see what we are doing in Variant Homes. In Variant Homes, we have bungalows in Kikuyu, 3-bedroom bungalows, which are now 60% complete. We are doing plastering. I shall share with Elizabeth videos of these houses on what is the progress at the moment where we are. And so that will be the tour. We shall be taking people from Kencom. We go to Kitsuru Phase 1, then we go to Kitsuru Phase 2 and make a dedication there, do a tree planting, and people will see the project take off. Then from there we go for inspection of Variant Homes, so that clients can inspect their homes and their houses and where we are. Then thereafter converge in a place called Wida Motel along Wayaki Way. What shall we be doing in Wida Motel? We shall be taking Nyamashoma. And having a dance. Oh, pore. Hutateseka sana, Elizabeth, because we shall also be having prayers. Tutaomba, we shall assume you are fasting. And unatuombea na sisi pande hii ingine. So that will be our 27th. I want to invite all of you from diaspora. Send to us your representatives, your relatives, your friends, your confidants, those people you trust. Let them come. Send them to us that they may join us in this tour. and go and see for you and on your behalf what Almond is doing and how different we are doing it and what we are telling the people of Kenya. It will be a big day. Thank you very much.
Wow, guys, you've heard for yourselves, and I tell you, Mr. Wachira is not gone. He's still around, and I'm here, and I can tell you, I always say, for me to be able to talk about Almond, I've really done my due diligence because I have a name to protect. I wouldn't be here just selling anything or telling people to buy, and then after that, you be on my neck. This is something I've checked. And more so, James, I'm really glad that the answer was really good, because how can they put their own money? Other people tell us to give them money and they build for us. Now, Almond is very different. They are building for you. You only give a certain percentage, so you have nothing to lose, if anything. Others have lost millions because you are told, here, it's your piece of land. Give me 5 million. I put up the building, the house for you. So that's how we've lost it. So Almond are committing themselves with their money. If it is the land, they are even giving you a loan. You pay, interest free. So Mr. Wachira, we really appreciate you. And I know we should continue working together. And in case of any questions, please, in the chat, I'm going to get you back. Daktari says Nyama Choma will make him come for the tour and eventually invest.
Karibu sana, Daktari.
I'll give you Daktari's contact. He's in Kenya. Anyway, and thank you ever so much. Obviously, we can never have enough of you, because we really want people we can count on. We really want people who can rely on. We really want people who are honest like you, people who are there to support us. It's not the con men we've had, because I told you we've burnt our fingers. And particularly people in the diaspora, when they hear land, it scares them. But people, let us not shy off. Let us, and please ask questions. Visit, do your due diligence. Thank you so much, Mr. Wachira. I'll get you back later as I bring in my next guest. Tonight is gonna be packed. It's packed. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Asanteni sana, and thank you for your patience, guys. Thank you. We are learning a lot. This is part of what Beacon of Hope does, because we are not just feeding the spiritual man, we also want to invest. We don't want to go back home and we do not have anything. You've been working so hard day and night, and I can assure you, Almond Estate Company Limited is the real deal. You can bank on me. And if you have got any doubts, look at Beacon of Hope. You're not going anywhere. We are here, and you can bank on us. We have already done our due diligence on Mr. Wachira and what he is doing, and I can tell you it's somebody you can rely on. So don't go far. Next online, we've got what are we doing about our youth? Most of us are bringing up our children, especially here in diaspora and even in Kenya, because most people are bringing up our children in the urban areas. So, and the person we are just about to bring is here in the diaspora, and he is working hard. He's come up with ideas, and he's done this for over 20 years. He just came here as a young person to study. Now he's got his family, and he saw, hey, here we need to do something. And because God has given him that gift, he gives us freely, and he is really, really supporting our community. And I say this because I know there are so many families who have benefited from the programs that he does. And who none other than John Wainaina, most of you call him Diggy, and I'll bring him in. Hello and good evening.
Evening to you.
I hope you've been listening to the investment talk.
I did. I actually did. I was very impressed, by the way. And you did mention something there which is interesting, that you've done your due diligence on Almond. So I hope you've done due diligence.
I have.
On myself too.
You are going home. You're going home, so you really need to visit them. So would you like to introduce yourself? Almond had introduced himself last time, and I know him. Let people know, who are you? Who is this John I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, most people know me as Diggy, as you said. That looks like that is my stage name. But yeah, that's the name that I'm known by the young people who are my main clientele. But yeah, my name is John Kamau Wainaina, born and bred in Kenya, moved to the diaspora 25 years ago, and I'm here. and I'm the director and founder of Youth League UK, formerly African Youth League.
Wow, 25 years you've been here. Wow, almost the same time. Now, John, I'm particularly interested with what you're doing, because I like working with the young people. Most parents here are complaining that our youth here, our young people, because I think one thing, the culture shock some of them is the blending between we the parents, who are still, our mind is still back there, and them, they want to adapt with the system here. So there is that correction, but you are doing so well in your youth league. Can you tell me what are some of the problems that you have seen with our children here, bringing up our children here? We started from there, please.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I would like to say what Youth League is in more detail. Youth League, as I said initially, was called African Youth League. It's an organization which I set myself 21 years ago to address issues that are affecting young people of African origin based in United Kingdom. And those issues are well known, includes racism, cross-cultural parenting issues, young people targeted by police in this country, single parenthood issues, racism and discrimination, as I said. There was also issues of our communities not using the strength they have in themselves to advance the work of young people. There was also the issue that I noted that we don't seem to learn from each other more, and so that we can use our learning together. Then there is also issues to do with we have abandoned our African ways, which had a lot of values in their ways of bringing up children. We used to bring up, or rather our parents and grandparents used to bring us as a community. If one child does something, then everybody was a parent to you. So those values have not been integrated into this community that we moved in, and has seriously affected the upbringing of our children. Now, of course, other things like identity issues, which are serious issues that our children are facing in this country. There is also a lot of rights, which in a way are good, but also they need to be balanced with other things. And also, these problems are not just for us, it's worldwide. Children have changed. There's devices that are influencing their behavior, computers and things like that, and so many other things that we all know. So, of course, these problems cannot be addressed by Youth League UK alone. It is a collective responsibility for all of us. And that's why I say setting up an organization is one, but the rest is for all of us to use that vehicle collectively to help the young people.
Wow. Youth League UK. Youth League UK. Why Youth League UK? Whenever I hear the word league, I always think of football.
I know. Everybody thinks.
What has that got to do with the league? Is there football? What do you do? We go straight
No, it's when I set it up. It was actually called Kenya Youth League. I myself have a background, although my educational background is economics and business. That's what I studied in uni. But when I set up Youth League UK, before it was called Kenya Youth League, then it was not registered charity or a company. It was purely bringing people together as young people in sports, entertainment. I was myself a sportsman at high level. I'm a martial artist.
Wow! Say that again.
Yeah. I'm a black belt, 5th dan, and don't worry.
You never told me this, my friend. All these years.
Yes. I was a Kenya team player. I was a coach for joint universities in Kenya when I was in university. So I am high-ranking martial artist in the art of Taekwondo. I started when I was very young. So sports is also very important to me. And when you mix sports and youth, they are very closely knit. Now, when I started, it was people, my peers, doing sports together and things like that. So from there, then it became an organization to address other issues that affected my peers and youths. So that's how the league started, So, and also the name league means a collection, people coming together to do things.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's the English explanation.
Yeah. We do understand. My people, the people you are talking to here, like you said, my clientele or the people you are addressing here, we really, really understand. Now, mainly, like I say, I like digging into the issues of the youth, which is my passion. And I said, for me, with Beacon of Hope special program is I would love to see a better tomorrow. I would love to see better leaders. I would love to hand over the baton to somebody who is well prepared. And I said, both morally, spiritually, and that is the idea behind Beacon of Hope. We inspire, we motivate, we teach, and so that the young people can be transformed. Although we also have the older people who through here, they learn and they change. Some of them even go back to uni, like you're saying. I'm sure you'll be coming to that where you're dealing with also older people. Now, tell me, what are some of the challenges you have seen? I wouldn't call that challenges. I think I rephrased that. The relationship between the young people come to you and they talk to you. You did share with me, most of them you come and share with you why they are behaving the way they are behaving. What are some of the problems that you have seen that bring that difference between the parents and the young people? What are some of the complaints that the young people you bring to you and say, like maybe my mom does not understand, my dad does not? Are there main issues that you have seen, especially among the Black community, that maybe bring that tussle or that difference between us and our youth? I don't know whether you get my question.
I do. I mean, of course, I get where you are headed. I must tell you that I am not necessarily the youth worker. I run a youth organization. And so, of course, I manage a youth organization. So there are, of course, other youth workers who deal with young people in different at different levels, youth support workers, play workers, because I have a range of programs, you know. So, but of course, I am also very interested in what they do around my people, especially those from the African and Black communities, and in particular the Kenyan community, because I have an idea of what they're doing around them, and most of the parents will come direct to me and explain the issue. So the young people will realize I speak Kikuyu or Kiswahili, and they will come directly to me and engage me, or they will definitely call me uncle. I probably they've met me out there with you or their mother or their father somewhere. So they'll come and discuss with me when they have issues. The main issues that I've noted over time is identity issues. Identity issues are critical, and there are a lot, and they're serious. This, I mean that we as parents now, I'm also a parent now, we are so preoccupied with talking about our origin and trying to follow everything about where we've come from, forgetting that we come from Kenya, born and bred in Kenya, and our children are born and bred here, but of Kenyan parents. There's a big difference between being born of a Kenyan parents and being lived and born and bred in United Kingdom. A major difference. So these children are actually British of Kenyan parenthood. That does not make them Kenyans. But they could be Kenyans because of the paperwork their parents have. So with that, you must make them feel comfortable on where they call home, where they were born. But how do you make them feel comfortable? You must accept that they are going to an English school, being taught by probably an English teacher, being taught English at English version of not of our Kenyan way. So they are deeply English.
Don't go there. I've been teaching also.
I know you're a teacher. But what I'm trying to say is that in itself shakes them and gets them confused. Now they go home. it's good to talk to them Swahili and
Yeah.
this diversity and all that. But it is good to also emphasize that they are in another country with different set of rules, with different set of upbringing, but and also to appreciate that they come from another country, which has also good other set of rules, but sell to them what is good from the other country, because communities are dynamic and they buy from each other the good things and abandon the bad things. So
Yes.
so the identity issue has been a major issue. So they when younger, slightly younger, primary age group, they are not necessarily affected by that a lot. As they go to secondary school, they start realizing that they are different from their peers here. They started realizing that, oh, these people are treating me different. The police are on my case. You know, when I go to this place, I'm treated differently. I don't have a passport to go to a trip with my school because my parents don't have immigration paperwork and all that. Why do I have this? Sometimes I'm called a different name, Rwandi's name for whatever reason. My parents have different names, or you know, so that starts affecting them. And they are performing very well in primary school. Once they start advancing up to university, many other factors can come into play.
Yeah.
That affects our children seriously. I give you an example. When we came 20 years ago, the Caribbean, for example, the Black Caribbeans, yeah, we used to think that they are bad children, they are bad people, they are doing all these bad things and all that. Until now, when our children are now in that age, you know, so they face the disadvantage that we are now facing, you know, in this country. And those disadvantages are well known in inequalities in health, inequalities in education, inequalities in many other ways, you know, discrimination and things that I said earlier. So all those things we must realize they are affecting our children. How do we deal with it? You know, so we run a lot of programs within to address those issues. We have leadership program, for example, peer leaders, and you've visited us and you've talked to some of our leaders. Giving them inspiration because you are a leader yourself and you've seen a lot of role model people from our community who shows them where they can reach. It's unlimited. So of course those are the things that I am working with people like yourself and other leaders. Now we have a youth participation and engagement program where we involve young people to have a voice and to speak out and to be able to be involved in their own services, you know, than telling them in the African way that you are here to just be heard. You are here to be seen, not to be heard. So we need to change that, and so that they can be heard just like many other children. So they improve their self-esteem and confidence and things like that, which is affected by the issues that I said earlier. So education and career support that we give them. You know, we have education center, Dagenham's community center in Dagenham. We after school support for those that are lacking behind. The pandemic has affected our community seriously. So you've come to visit them and you've seen a lot of them getting career support, education support. Of course, career support, we have workers who support them career-wise, guiding them on what career to get to, you know, which one pays properly, which one is good, which one we are headed to another another world with digital world. How do we get there? Things like that. Employability programs, you know, most of our children usually just get to education and all that, but when they finish, even at university, they don't seem to get into employability. And even when they get to employability, they're still not getting the jobs that they get. And the highest they can get is probably say, oh, I'm going to be a teacher. Oh, I've gotten to be a lawyer. I've gotten to. You want to be beyond a lawyer, beyond a teacher. You run a law firm, employ lawyers, become a teacher, employ teachers. You know, become an entrepreneur, set up a school, become employ teachers. You see, we will need to get them beyond that discussion where we just aim, and our targets are quite low. I'm not saying being a teacher is low, but what I'm saying that we need to look at
think outside the box. That's true.
Outside the box.
No, I get you. I'm with you 100%.
So that our community can also be like other communities who who owns big companies, you know,
Yes.
Amazon, the Works, all of them, you know. Sports and play programs that I also have. We have play buses that go around the parks in disadvantaged boroughs. You know, in Buckingham Dagenham, we have play rangers where we have qualified play workers. They go with vans in targeted areas and neighborhoods which are disadvantaged, especially where Black and ethnic minorities reside, engage those young people in open spaces and parks there so that they don't need to go far from their homes. They may have the facilities there like a mega courts and parks, but they don't have the structure and the support. So we enhance their play and sports and give them maybe shoes, for materials to play with. Some of them lack even the balls, you know,
Mhm.
to play. So we have that, and then we have the health and well-being programs, and now we are supporting groups that work with children and young people.
Yes.
We are moving into infrastructure support. We've done all the grassroots work for 20 years now. We believe that there are so many people, even your son is, for example, running a peer program, but we now need to support them to give them the infrastructure and capacity to be
Mhm.
able to support their own peers. And those mothers and other parents who are also involved in youth work, we give
Yes.
them because of our experience, we are now able to develop them and help them to continue with their good work. So we leave the face-to-face work and leave for those who can do it, but we support them. We also have the parents support program. We've realized over time that running a youth organization is not just about working with young people. You never get good outcomes, you know, without without involving the children themselves,
Mhm.
about the parents themselves. So now we've started the parents program, in particular focusing on fathers who for the longest time people have not worked with them, and now we are bringing the fathers together, telling them about their absenteeism when with their boys, and making sure that they are involved in their children life, especially the boys. Otherwise we'll have a pandemic around our boys in the long term. Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow. There's so much that your organization is doing, and definitely we're wishing you the best. And I know there's still more to be done. Now, before we look at the question that has been put on the chat, or rather an issue that somebody wants, or James Joroga would like us to discuss, I saw during the pandemic, during the COVID-19 pandemic period, you were feeding families, so many families. You are really distributing a lot of food and supporting families, visits, delivering, and people could come in anytime and get this food. Is this part of what Youth League UK does?
Oh yeah, we never had a hunger alleviation program, but what happened is that during the pandemic, it became clear that our community had been affected heavily, and they needed support around food hunger issues.
Yeah.
So we had to move in quickly and develop a pilot program to help those that had heavily been affected by the pandemic, and we of course worked with the local councils to get food and distribute, especially the basic food and essentials, you know. So, but that now has become a mainstream work within us, and we are now continuing with that program as one of our main programs to help those families who historically we've thought they are okay, but they have been not doing well. And what we notice is that most of our people are not feeling comfortable to come out and say they are suffering or they need food. But we want to call them and say, if you have an emergency or you need some food, come to us. Nobody will laugh at you. And we'll be all very confidential, you know, and we'll deal with you as you wish so that we can have somebody delivering your food. For now, we have less of that, but what we are doing is we are giving those on emergency basis, you know,
Mm,
but
mm.
but that is important for long term. And yes, we are giving food and basic essentials.
Well done on you. Now, the next topic that it's the topic is, my people, do you know that our Kenyan children are in so many mental health hospitals? across the UK admitted and some of them sectioned, that is being almost going to placement, under Mental Health Act due to depression, drugs, and others. Did we know that? And what do you think we can do? We might not be the experts, but he just instigated that discussion because we are dealing with young people. You are dealing with young people. I'm dealing with young people. What do you think we can do? Because that topic and James Joroge falls in so much in my portfolio. I am currently leading that portfolio, and any ideas, any discussions, anything that we can come up with, including youth league, we can work together because we
Yeah.
don't want our children. So,
I
over
can-
to you, what do you think?
Yeah, that is indeed a big major problem. It's a major problem.
Mhm.
And I've had a lot of referrals from Kenyan parents, and for the longest time they did not reveal the issues of their children, but lately it has become clear that they are ready to there because it becomes serious. Now there is loads of children or many children who are hospitalized, it's true, who are in homes because of drugs and things like that, who are in care, and it is not just the Kenyan community, it is across the African community. And this is not something my organization alone can work around.
Of
What
course.
I have said is that we have most of these answers within our communities. It's
Yes.
only that we have not been brought together to
Mhm.
deal with it. We are dealing with these things individually all over the place. Now,
Mhm.
what I've said is that on average, every family within the African community
Yes.
has a person who works in the health and social care.
Mhm.
Almost in every family on average, maybe into two or 1 to 4 at highest. Now that means that we are in the sector that addresses this issue.
Mhm.
We all probably work in this sector. Most of our mothers and sisters work in that sector. Now that means that we have solutions within us, so we need to mobilize that resource that exists and make sure, and there are many of them are ready to help. You have mental health nurses, mental health carers who are ready to work with the community to help. They just need a structure. So hopefully the Youth League is going to put up together a structure whereby these volunteers, they don't need to be paid, can address these issues of our own community, because we have the answers ourselves. We are not going to wait for the government to resolve these issues. The
Yes.
government will only come in when it's a crisis and they have to be taken to hospital. But before that, we need to move into preventative work and prevent this. And we have so many of these people who can do it. But how well are we equipped to do that as an organization, as a community? We, yourself as a community leader, and many others that I know out there, we need to come together and see how historically our parents have always done these things. We have leadership structures whereby the older people are listened and they sit down there, they give orders, they give their wisdom and help. We need that structure back here.
Oh yes.
And I see the Indians, the Jews, everyone who have succeeded in this country have their own cultural structures in place. We need to bring those things to work with them as model of good practice in here, in this country.
Yes, John, you're talking so much about the Indian community, because they are so much well knit.
Well knit, yes.
Where do you think
we went wrong?
You're not too badly off, but where do you think we failed? And I put myself there because I'm a leader, also I'm a parent, I'm a Kenyan. Where do you think we need to go back to our roots and find out where have we lost it? Where do we need to put the pieces of jigsaw together so that we also have a well-knit community? Because I believe Kenyans, from the way we were brought up and the way we, right from home, we are a community. We no one is an individual. We always believe in that community, including even the Harambee spirit, which is very good here. When people have to give, they really do it good. But there's still something that is not there. Like you keep saying, the Indian community, when they do things, they do together, they do. Where do you think we need to go back and, start all over again? Because it's possible.
I cannot say exactly, but what I also have done a research on, or through my work, I have realized that we didn't come to this country long ago. You remember,
No,
25
no.
years not long ago. We are the first generation. So, and
Yes.
we were all young, you
Mhm.
know. So that means that we did not have our parents, our older generation guiding us. Now we are the old people, or rather now we are getting there, being parents, being grandparents. We need now to take our responsibility seriously and guide our children that are coming up. I can't say they're doing badly. There are some children and families that are doing extremely well. I mean, the education performance. I went to a social gathering and I met 21 to 25-year-old Kenyans. They're doctors. They're,
Wow.
they're, 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 um, they're doing well, no doubt. So we have not done badly on that thing. There is still work to do. Now, we need to come together and say, oh, we are now here. We are the Wazees.
Oh, yes.
We must do what Wazees do in our community. Yeah. And who is our leader? I know you have your partner who has been working with me behind the scene.
My husband, Bishop BK.
Yes, has
Mhm.
been working with me, and I have identified him as a good leader. You
Mhm.
know, and he's advanced. He has promised to do some work, and he started some good work around men. So
Yes.
those are the things we need, and there is no way. And I must tell you that we are not so much behind. It's only that we have many groups in East London, in Southwest London, which have come together. But what you've noticed that they're doing, they're only addressing. They are doing entertainment, coming together,
Welfare.
and when somebody has died.
Yes.
So we need to go beyond that and now start doing other things, including and not limited to uh, prevention of things that affect our children, but not just addressing them juju. We need to go deeper into what the problems are.
Absolutely.
Work with professionals. There are many professionals within our community. Tap that resource and work with them towards resolving this in the long run. But we are not doing very badly. It's only that we assume we are doing, but it's good to gauge ourselves as doing badly so that we can work more. But the Indians and the rest, they have been here longer than us, and they probably went through the same hell we are going through at some stage, and then they realize that it is important to keep to ourselves and bring back our culture. I'm not too sure, but
That's what you think.
even in their history at home, they've been a communal. When the ones who come from Kenya, they were a communal community who worked together and all lived together and all that. And that is the same thing that in the African tradition is that
Yes.
the child was brought up by the
By the
wider
community.
community.
Yes.
We need to get to there. We need to get to there. Yeah.
I like that idea of, yes, we know we are still doing okay, but we need to challenge ourselves. I always believe in challenging myself. I always believe in trying something different. And that is why when I told you last year I was going back to do a master's in international law, I was challenging myself because you cannot sit there and be complacent and say this is it. And that's the same thing even with our community. And I really want to appreciate that we've got people who are doing exceptionally well. Look at people like Perez Ochieng. She has hit up there. She's doing so well, challenging us, and a few others too. I'm talking about our people, our generation, anybody who is hitting 50. We are the Wazes now here, and we need to do something. But I believe at God's own appointed time, now that we have identified, we have some pieces of jigsaw to put together. I believe this is the time and we can do it. We can do it. We are not badly off. Now, how do you get the people who come to your youth league? How do you get them? How do you advertise? How do people get to know about you? How do parents? I could have people who are listening here, others who will listen after this, others who can send the message. How do people come to you?
Our main community center is in Barking and Dagenham for obvious reason. There has been issues in that borough. I mean, historically, the BNP was based there, the British National Party. So there were compelling reasons to be in that borough as a starting point. We initially started in Newham, but we moved to Barking and Dagenham because there was issues that affected Black and ethnic minority, especially those from African origin there.
Uh-huh.
Now, we have a main community center there. We have a youth center, which you have visited before. That is our main center. Children naturally know their youth center. they know they know where it is. They know how to get there. We also work with schools, the schools head teachers and the local councils, education department do referrals to us. So they send the children there and we assess them and put them in the right programs. Now, we also have connections with the local leaders, the councillors, yourselves being one, and other councillors of where we work. But we also, most of our work is also outreach work and detached work. I mentioned of play ranges. We go out there to meet people where they are at their own environment. So we have volunteers, youth workers, support workers who escort young people, all their parents, to service delivery points. They help you to the job center, they help you to social housing department, they help you somewhere, interpret for you, give you support there, advocate for you and things like that. So we are there. We have our website, www.youthleagueuk.org, which you can also see our services there. And you can also see we also bring in this country. We have we are an A sponsor for bringing people from outside there, from Kenya and all that. So we sponsor musicians. You've seen all these musicians from all over Africa. They actually come through the Youth League. We facilitate their visas and they perform under our sponsorship, it's called. So we are registered as a sponsor with the Home Office to support that process. And also, so we work with, before I used to be the main person that in promotions and things.
Yes, I remember you brought a few gospel musicians.
Yes.
You brought, is it Mama Kayai you brought?
All
yes,
of them.
I remember.
Yes. So that work which I used to do as myself has now been plugged into the Youth League. So Youth League now supports artists and DJs and all that to facilitate, help them bring in artists. We also bring volunteers from Africa to support our work here. That has been problematic because of people coming here and disappearing. So typical of people. So I put that on hold until I get to understand, doing a further risk assessment on it.
There's no way you are bringing me here for 5 months and you tell me that now I'm taking you back.
That has been my issue. Has been an issue. Wamenihepa wengi. Sasa hapo imekuwa kidogo a problem, so I put that on hold for the time.
I know hii inaweza kuleta bara.
Yes.
Right, so we have to know how to do things right. To be honest, I really, really admire what you're doing, and I know that even in the Bara of Buckingham Dagenham, we have John, we have acknowledged you. You are one of our icons. I know you have your big portrait in the town hall talking about the achiever, the Black. You are among the Black, especially during the Black History Month. You always feature there because you have reached out so much selflessly, and sometimes even with no funding, you do it yourself. I see the passion in you, and whenever I visit the center, what I see you doing, sometimes you don't even leave the youth workers to do the work. You're joining them, you're doing it. I really, really admire this passion, and I hope our people can learn from you, because like you say, we are handing over the baton now. We are 50s now. Where are we heading? We need the younger people, Kinda Kang'ethe and the others, to come and take over now.
True.
And that is what you are doing.
Yeah. I appreciate that. You appreciate.
We do.
Yes, thank you.
I'm not, and I'll be very honest. People might think that I'm talking about the council. I'm not the one who nominated you, am I? The leader of the council. Realize what you are doing.
Oh yeah. They did. They put me in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, and he talks very highly of you. He doesn't actually say US, but he says the Youth League UK, and he says, it's doing a good job for our young people and all that, getting them before they go out there. So keep on doing that, and other thing. Now, you told me recently you've also started working with older people. You have a program. Has it kicked off, or you still in the...
Right, yes. As part of our work, we expanded our objective so that we could also work with parents. And these parents, we've gone further to identify that our young people face issues because there are problems at home, and those problems are mostly affecting their parents, especially their older ones, their grandparents. And on our grandparents, for example, people over 65 years of age, they're isolated.
They're lonely.
They're lonely.
Yeah.
They don't have typical English people who go play, what's it called? The one they throw down.
The bingo. They do a
bingo. No, bingo is different.
Bingo and the other one, what do you call it? Yeah, I know the one you're talking. Yeah,
I've forgotten. Yeah. They don't have a place where they do a cup of tea, breakfast, tea, and things like that. So they are seriously isolated. They are probably not working. They have retired now. They don't have like a home where they'll go and meet the other older people because there are fewer. So that is a major issue. So we've come to their aid, and we are now identifying people who are their peers who are slightly active to work with them and help them. So we identified a couple of them who are able to identify their peers and support them, buddy them, get them to be friends, network, take them out, be happy together, come up with programs that we can support, build the capacity of those volunteers themselves so that they can help their own, instead of us doing the work directly, because we are not specialized in working with the older people. What we do is identify those older people who can help their peers. So we are also looking at digital inclusion. They don't have basic digital devices to be able to just even book their appointment with the GP, or go or understand or search for services. So we are giving them those devices so that they can be able to utilize them and help them. But this is just a pilot. So people like yourself who probably know them, know where they are, let us know. We will probably help. But we are not saying that we have all the answers to their issues, but we'll be able to, if we know the problems, we can articulate that to potential supporters and support them.
I know, it's a very good point that you brought there. I have noted also with the typical white people here, they're older parents, old men, women. They've got their social groups where they meet over a cup of tea. Some of them do their knitting together. Some of them go for their dances. The dances they used to have before. They'll go and meet their socialites. They'll go for drinks. And, they'll even go sometimes to the pub and all that. Whereas our older people, the Black community, I think this is where you're coming in, and this is a very, very timely, that they feel lonely. And, their children have moved out, they're working and so on. So this is a very timely program for you, and I wish you all the best in this. You said it's just in the pilot program, but we will support you. We will support you to identify, and even to have times when they can go out together, having meals together, gathering, and maybe even preparing our traditional meals together. Those kind of ideas that will bring them together and bring that life and those beautiful memories that they do have about where they're coming from. Now, when you talk about our people and you mainly dealing with the Black community, are you talking about Kenyans only? Can you clarify there?
No, no. By the way, my organization, as I said, it started with the Kenyan community. Of course, it went into being. We have similar issues around the African community, so we then, before we got registered, we were registered as African Youth League. So we are Youth League UK to ensure that we are inclusive of other communities. Our focus is on people of African origin. But of course, the Kenyan community, being people from my country, seems to feel more comfortable there and believe that is their organization. But we are open up to other African communities. But I am still keen to ensure Kenyans are well looked after.
Are you looking into expanding? I know you have vans, but those are for the younger people for football. I see them written all over. Are you looking into expanding? Because at the moment you only have the major community place where you meet. Are you looking at maybe looking for other venues for ease of transport where you can take your people? For example, now I'm thinking of when we start, if we identify some elderly people who need to meet somewhere, are you thinking of looking for another venue where you can go and meet up with them, organize programs for them?
We don't need to have the venue as ours. If people come together and they believe that they need our services, we can we are a national organization, registered as a national organization, international to be precise. But of course, we've been focusing on where we were set up initially, but we can work anywhere with any partner, with anyone. We are in particular interested in partnership working, because especially with the parents program, because we are not specialists in parents program. We know too many people they have ideas in their heads, and they want to start something, but they are unable to do because of the complexity of starting a charity, or complexity of fundraising, or complexities of just them volunteering, and they have their day-to-day work. So we can discuss on how we can support their role in our infrastructure and small group support program. And that is my role, actually, to go and identify potential partners or potential small self-help groups that are out there that needs our support and needs people to know they exist. There's a lot of push towards supporting Black and ethnic minority right now. So people need to take advantage. We should not just continue saying Black Lives Matters without doing the work that needs to be done to move to where Black life really matters.
Wow, I like that challenge. Don't just sit back and say Black Lives Matter. What are you doing? Move and find out.
We must do
something.
Yes.
Do something. Effect those black lives.
We must contribute to Black Lives Mattering.
I love this, John. I cannot have enough of this, and like we say, we are wishing you all the best. What is your parting shot? Because what would you like to tell people? How would you like to end this? Because and also getting people, giving them your contact, because there could be people here who are just itching to get in touch with you now after this.
My number is my work number is 079.
Hang on.
079 035 029 36.
That is too fast for me. 079 035
079 035 029 26.
That is better. And that is John.
Yeah.
Wow. So what's your parting shot as I pin your number there? I'm sure you don't mind, because definitely.
No, don't put it on the thing. You can give them. Don't put it on. That's
your number is there. Okay, I'm gonna hide it. I'm not gonna show it then. Okay.
That might be a bit tricky for now. I might be overwhelmed.
No worries. My people are reasonable. They will not. Anyway, my number is public, like I say, and I only know. So what's your parting shot? I've even put your name wrong. Sorry, my dear.
Parting shot is that the solution is with us.
Say that again.
The solution is within us.
And like we say, the power is in our hands.
Is in our hands.
God is asking us, what are you doing with what I've given you?
Yeah, we don't need the government. We don't need nobody else. We've got the answers to our problems.
I like that. That is the same thing that Crispus was telling us in Almond, that God will ask us, what did you do with what I gave you?
Yes.
Because God has given us all what it takes. God has given us the power, but are we using it effectively? Are we using it in the right way?
Next year, when we are celebrating our 20 years of registration as a charity. We've worked maybe 22 years, but we'll be doing a couple of events for the youth, especially the Kenyan community, which we started, was our initial target group. We'll do some big time award ceremony for youth. We'll be doing some big celebration of coming together. I'll bring back all the artists that we have over time.
Wow.
So we have a big program coming up, but also supporting people who are doing work in the community than us doing it, celebrating together than us. We've grown old now. We can't do those big events. We can only support others.
Wow, get us involved, let us know in good time, and then whatever we can do to support, even as a council,
Yes.
in our office, whatever we can do to support you, even as a leader, as a Kenyan community, whatever we can do, let us know in good time, and we'll support you, we'll work with you.
Thank you.
John, I really, really want to appreciate you. I know you've not had enough of you. I know there's still more that you would share. Yeah. And the people coming after this who will listen to this, they might get in touch with me or with you. Let us give back what God has given unto us. Do not be, the word of God says, do not be weary in doing good. And this is what you are doing. We cannot all go and preach. You cannot have the pulpit. What you are doing, you are preaching. Through gospel, you are doing exactly that. Giving back. People just look at, I don't go to church, or I go to church and I tithe. But what you are doing, really giving back to the community, this is God-given gift, and you're not keeping it to yourself. And God bless you. We really want to appreciate you once again for taking time to be our guest on Beacon of Hope Beacon. And we don't take anything for granted. May the Lord bless you. And whenever you need our support, first of all, in my office, in the council, as a cabinet member, and then also with me and Bishop BK, our office of Beacon of Hope Beacon, we are willing to work with you to support you. With our church powerhouse, we also need the spiritual guidance. Know that we are just a phone call away.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Next time, give me some more time to prepare.
give you some more time to prepare. I'm going to do exactly that. So good night and God bless you. We get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the work you're doing too.
You're welcome. God bless you.
Thank you. Okay.
Wow. Viewers, we've been listening to John, and John has got so much to offer. And I promise you that before we leave, we will have Crispus Washida. Before we leave, I know we have just a few minutes, like 5-10 minutes to wind up with him. And oh God, I forgot, there were a few questions and I've just forgotten even people how to get in touch with Crispus. Wow, welcome back, Crispus. Have you been listening to our debate on youth?
Very interesting debate. I have followed it closely, and I must say that is.
I'll send John to you. He's coming over. He's really passionate, and like he says, he's doing very, very, very well. I have visited the center, and I know what he's talking about.
That was very personal, very, very informative, powerful kind of information. And our youth have no reason to say why they have gone astray or they are not in the right path. They are well taken care of. And thank you for bringing such persons and people of substance to our children and our young generation. We are grateful.
Amen, amen, amen. Now back to what we were talking about as we wind up, so that we did not even give you a contact. And I'm sure maybe you've as you sat there behind, there's something you thought, oh, I should have shared this with the viewers about Almond Estate Company Limited. This is your 5-6 minutes as we wind up.
Thank you very much. And viewers, I want to remind you that as Almond, we are in Nairobi. We are situated in Nairobi along Lemuru Road in a building called Suraj Plaza. Suraj Plaza, we are in the 3rd and 4th floor of Suraj Plaza along Lemuru Road. This building is directly opposite Jamhuri High School. Opposite Jamhuri High School. Our contacts for the office are 0716 943 943.
0716
943 943. You can also get in.
For us, we need 00254, yeah?
For me, you can get me through 0733 874080, 0733 874080, and then we'll be able to discuss whatever it is that you wanted to be clarified. We'll also appreciate, and we really thank God. Otherwise, I think Elizabeth, for me, is to tell people and every viewer, don't eat every coin. Make sure that you preserve, make a preservation. When you preserve, the time you would want back your pound, the time you want back your dollar, it will not just be $1. It will have grown, because in investment and in preservation, it is, we are saying, you are preserving in land, you are preserving in houses. These do not depreciate. Do not be that one person who would want to drive in a Subaru and remain in a rented house. Do not be that one person who would want to drive in a double cabin Toyota Hilux and you have not put aside anything to show. These cars depreciate. They have what we call a scrap value. But for land and houses, there is no scrap value. They appreciate every moment. Rad does not depreciate. It appreciates. And so when you preserve your savings in land, know that you'll get the fruits of preservation. Return on investment will always be very, very high. So I am calling on all of us, find time to visit us. You can also like our WhatsApp page, or you can also like our Facebook pages. We are also in Twitter, Armored Estate. We are also in the website, Google, www.armoredestate.co.ke. We are also in Instagram. So all these social media platforms, they will be able to inform you quite a lot about Armored. And as you do your due diligence on us, I think those are good good pointers who will point you to what area you would want to probably understand about Armored. So otherwise, I am very, very happy. Thank you for inviting me in this program. I pray that we shall continue to be of use. Amen. And as we continue to be invited in this program by our great friend Elizabeth, we continue to pray for you, the work you are doing for our young people, the work you are doing in regard to the souls of our souls, continually nourishing them with the word of God. We pray that God Almighty will remember you and that you shall never lack. May God bless you.
Amen. Amen. Also want to appreciate you because you're also giving back in a very selfless way, because you the way you are helping us to invest is really, you are thinking of us. You don't want to be selfish. So may the Lord also bless you and bless the work of your hands. And like we promised, we said definitely we'll come and see you. Definitely we have to. And guys, please, if you want to get to know more about Armored Estate Company Limited, you know I'm in the public domain. So if you want to ask me anything, I'll direct you to Crispus Wachira. He will support you. He will tell you. And if you're going for holiday, if you are traveling to Kenya, I know this week so many people have already started traveling. They don't want to wait until December when the airfare will be rocketing. If you are traveling, please get in touch with the Armored Estate Company Limited. Just pay them a visit. Go and see for yourself. take that number or contact me. Go and visit them. Go and see for yourself. You know, even the Kikuyu say, go and see it for yourself. Or you can send somebody, a relative, your dad, your mom, your cousin, your uncle. Let them go and see for you. 27th, hey, Boozy, you can also get in touch and go and see. And there, don't forget that day you go and see people getting their title deed, people getting their properties. So it is always good. Bishop says positive criticism. Don't drive a big car in a rented house. Including such a good challenge. Well done for sending that big challenge. Bishop says that was a positive criticism, that people should not live in rented driving big machines, and they are living in rented houses. Well, the support is there for us. Thank you so much. Thank you. So once again, Crispus, we really want to appreciate you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord do you good. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Let's meet on 27th for those who are allowed and those who are coming, and we shall be happy to host all of you. God bless you so much.
God bless you. Thank you. Keep in touch. Good night. God bless. Viewers, this has been once again a very, very powerful session of Beacon of Hope. I feel like I've not had enough. I still want to hear more from Crispus Wachira of Almond. I still want to hear more from Pete John Kamau of League UK. This has been powerful. If you have missed, share. If you have just joined us, listen again. Please kindly share and follow us again and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Beacon of Hope Beacon. So we've come to the end, and I'm sure you have benefited. You have gained something. And if you have got any concerns, anything you'd like clarified, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. So once again, we've come to the end of our program. This is Beacon of Hope Beacon, where we inspire, we motivate, we teach. Yes, we do all this all of them in one girl. I once again want to remind you, are you sending back home money to your loved ones? Are you sending support to friends and family? Are you sending Christmas gifts? Don't go any further. TapTap, they have the highest rate of exchange. You get your money instantly. And if you download for the first time and you use my promo code, LEASH254, you get £10 or $10 on top.
Niajiwase. TapTap Send Money Transfer has launched its app in Kenya. Send money to M-Pesa and Kenyan bank accounts. Send money quickly at the best rate. Hassle-free. Available in the UK, France, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany. Tumakitu.
Yes, Tumakitu. Support family. And don't forget to subscribe, please. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Last time somebody did ask me, what about those plots you were talking about? Yes, I spoke about these plots and somebody wanted to know more about them. Those are the quarter-acre plots in Muthaiga. They're going for 20 million. If you want to know more about this, get in touch with the 002547225225889. Quarter-acre plots going for 20 million. They're in Muthaiga, in Kinoo. There's water, there is electricity. It's 100 meters on the main road. So they're going for 20 million quarter-acre plots. If you want to know more about this, get in touch with +2547225225889. Quarter-acre plots being sold in Kinoo, Muthaiga, and they're going for 20 million. If you want to know more about this, +2547222. Yes, you're calling from here, but it's in Nairobi. 722-522-589, and they are negotiable. You can talk to them. There is electricity. There is red soil. It's on the main road. Brilliant. Not far from Westlands. Yes, get in touch with them, and I'm sure you will not regret. So We've come to the end of our program and I have really enjoyed my two guests. I really can't thank them enough. May the Lord bless you, even those of you who stayed up listening. It's not in vain. We want people's perspective to change in terms of how we are bringing up our children, in terms of how we are investing, because all these things are important. And I bring this show to each one of you so that you can be empowered, so that you can be motivated, so that you can be inspired. Look at what John is doing. He inspires me. I can never do what he is doing, but he does inspire me. He's very passionate about supporting our young people. He goes out of his way. He does so much. So have you been inspired? Get in touch. Would you like to support somebody's son, somebody's daughter somewhere? Get in touch with John. They've got all these activities that will help. Are you alone, an elderly person, lonely somewhere? You know somebody. Get in touch. He's got all these programs. So once again, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord do you good. I am your host, Councillor Elizabeth Kang'ethe, Mrs. Bishop BK, signing off all the way from London Borough of Buckingham, Dagenham. And God bless you. I have really enjoyed. Thank you, my sister Catherine. Thank you so much. Thank you, Karanja Joro. Thank you. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. You are too many. I'm not going to say your names. Meet tomorrow night with Bishop BK on our program, Beacon of Hope Beacon. God bless you. I'm signing off from Buckingham, Dagenham. We love you. Shalom.